gear down. Hello sim pilots and welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Today we're going to have a look at the update for FS2CREW's AI Copilot for the A32nx. Now I know I made a video on this before. It was a quick walkthrough with the Copilot using button control. But today I'm going to do a flight using voice control, and we're going to have a look at the new female Copilot. Many requests were received for different models of the Copilot, and all your cries were heard. Not only for a lovely female first officer, but also for different races as well. So now we have different options for, you can have a black co-pilot or an Asian co-pilot. You can also have a blonde female or a redhead female. So let's jump into the cockpit. We're going to do a quick flight over the channel to Brussels. It's going to be a very short flight, probably only around 45 minutes flight time. We're not going to climb very high, but we are going to use the AI co-pilot and using voice control. We are in VATSIM. There's no HC online at the moment. We are tuned into Unicom. So let's jump into the cockpit and have a look at what's going on. First things first, if I come up to the top here and I go to the FS2 Command Center, Animated First Officer Flybywire A32nx project, and I'm going to click on Launch Application. And I'm going to close it up there. Before we get started with this, I'm just going to, let me leave it here on the screen so you can see what's going on. I'm just going to head on over to the settings page, and you can see we have voice control selected. Last time we used button control. This time I'm using voice control. And I have a push to talk key for voice control set to my joystick. It's actually set to a button on my throttle quadrants. What you can do is you can leave it open microphone. Now in open microphone mode, you don't have to push any button to talk. The microphone will always be listening to you. The only problem I have with that is it's listening to you. It's picking up your voice. Like now when I'm talking into the microphone, talking to you guys, and perhaps when I'm talking to VATSIM ATC. So I prefer to have a push to talk key assigned, so I have to push the button every time I want to talk to my Copilot. Here by language options, we have US male, US female, so we can go UK male for captain. First officer, we can go US female, male, etc. So I'm going to go US female. And then the avatar model, we have male white, male Hispanic, male black, male Asian, female blonde, and female redhead. So for today, we're going to use the female blonde. Let's have a look and see what she looks like. There she is right there. Now the rest of the options, I'm not going to go through all of them. We have general options, flight options, boarding signs, etc. You can go all through all of these one by one and select or deselect what you prefer. Now I have an airline call sign as Speedbird. That's the call sign she'll use when she's talking to the ATC. Now I do fly on VATSIM, so I tend to skip the instructions to get ATC clearance from the Copilot, because obviously I have to do that myself. But we will demonstrate and see how that goes. With that all out of the way, we can begin. So I'm going to close that up right now. And then you got options at the top here. Now if you click on the little clock icon here, it says start pre-flight events or fast forward time remaining. Fast forwarding is unavailable while the first officer performs flow. Button turns red when fast forwarding unavailable or the time has been paused. Time remaining to departure, displayed button. Okay, now you can click this button to begin, or you can tell her, let's start setting up. So I'm going to push my push to talk key and I'm going to tell her, let's start setting up. Let's start setting up.
Okay.
As you can see here by the speech, this is what is recognized from my voice. It doesn't always work out so smoothly. Sometimes you do have to repeat yourself a few times, but I find generally it's pretty good once you've done the voice training software. So as you can see, she's doing her flows on the overhead, and what I need to do is I need to do my captain or pilot flying flows. So I need to set up my side of the overhead and the MCDU, the FCU, and the center console. As I said, we are on VATSIM, but we are tuned into Unicom because there's no HC online at the moment. So I'm going to jump up onto the overhead panel and I'm going to do the rest. Now you can minimize this by pushing the little green circle over here, and that'll bring it up and take it away again. So there she's gone out for the walk around. I'm going to do my flows, so I'm going to set the ADIRS 1, 2 and 3 to nav. I'm going to turn on the crew supply, turn on all the fuel pumps. You can see she's already connected us to the external power and powered up the aircraft. She started the APU already, which is a bit early. I'm going to arm the emergency exit lights. I'm going to turn on the no smoking signs, seatbelt signs, nav logo lights on. Let's turn on the overhead integral lighting. I think that's all I need to do on the overhead. I'm going to come on down here to the FCU. Just going to turn up the brightness a little bit. Let me turn up the brightness on all the displays. Now as you can see here, we have 26 minutes to departure. Now you can click on this and it'll run the time down.
She's on the walk around.
Now you can see she's back because I fast forwarded the time. I find that 26 minutes is a little bit long. Let's continue. Just turning up all the displays here. Turn up the brightness for the MCU. Let's do her side as well.
River traffic, Urban 860, runway 27 left located.
I find that she should probably do this herself, but anyway, no problem, we'll do it for her. Let's turn up the lighting over here. Let's just move this out the way for now.
Security and safety check are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so there we've advised that they can start boarding. Let's turn on the fly pad and get our information.
Fully established for runway 27 left, 12 miles south, and having 1600 for DME.
Now I do have a flight from Heathrow to Brussels, which is done inside of SimBrief. So I've just imported the SimBrief data. Let's go ahead and get our fuel done so we can download that. 4.4 tons, not a lot at all. Like I said, it's going to be a very short flight, not even 1 hour. Passengers 152. Let's start loading there as well, and we can carry on setting up the MCDU. So we go add to AOC menu, init data request. There's a Speedbird 394, Heathrow to Brussels, very short, there we go, 42 minutes, not even 45 minutes. Okay, we got init A, init request. To our flight plan, we're going to Detling, so let's have a look at the weather. I think everybody else is pretty much on 27. 2108 at 8 degrees, so we're going to take it off runway 27 and we're going to make it at 27, probably 27 left or 27 right. Let's see what everybody else is using. Seven left. Looks like he arrived on 27 left. Anyone departing that side?
Front traffic, Speedbird 1 taxiing from 27 by Mike.
Heathrow traffic, Shamrock Papa Yankee 27 left located.
Okay, so he landed on 27 left. So let's depart on 27 right. So our departure is going to be 27 right, and it's going to be the Detling to Foxtrot departure. We can insert that there. Let's just clear this discontinuity. There we go. Now we can carry on. So we got init B page. Block fuel is 4.4 tons. Our zero fuel weight. $60.2. Okay, passenger still busy loading there, so 60.2. Trip winds plus 13.
Boarding completed.
There we go. Performance page. Going to do a flaps 2 departure. V1 is going to be 126. V rotate is going to be 127. V2 is going to be 131. Good stuff. That we can set to 6,000 feet, which is our transition altitude. And there we already set up the box pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and close this door.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to see final.
Now if I bring up FS2CREW again, we can see there's a few voice command assists here that we can give her. So we got request ATC clearance, we got check the box, are you ready for the takeoff briefing, and any questions. Now if you want to say are you ready for the takeoff briefing, you can demonstrate the takeoff briefing to her, and when you're done you can say any questions. So for example, I'm going to say, are you ready for the takeoff briefing?
Ready.
And then she'll say ready, and then you can just like make up some takeoff briefing. You can do the whole briefing you want, and then when you're done, all you have to do is any questions. Any questions?
No questions.
Hi guys, here's the load sheet for you.
Alright, so then the loadmaster's back, and they've said there's a load sheet because now they've finished loading all the passengers. So you can just say thank you.
No problem. Have a safe flight.
And then you can continue on. Then we have another voice command, which is request ATC clearance and check the box. Now if you say check the box, she's going to check the MCDU. She's going to just verify all the information that you've put in is correct. So let's do that. Check the box.
Okay.
And you can see she's going through everything rather fast. I see we have a door open for some reason. Let's close that. Let's remove that. And we can get ready for pushback and startup. So I'm just going to use GSX. And now we can do the before starts checklist. So we're going to go before starts checklist.
We are ready for pushback.
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On and auto.
Adheres.
Departure check.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
4,380 kilograms.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Barrel ref.
1019 set.
1019 set. Down to the line.
And then we can ask her to request ATC clearance. So we'll just say, just for demonstrations, I don't want to use this, let's say request ATC clearance.
Clearance delivery. Good afternoon. Speedbird. Speedbird is at the gate with the numbers. Requesting ATC clearance. Okay, cleared our destination as filed. Squawk code is as assigned. Speedbird.
Right, and there she's got our ATC clearance from us. But if I was relying on VATSIM or if the controllers online, you could skip that part. Okay, so we're ready for pushback and startup. What we're going to do now is, before we start up, we're going to turn the beacon lights on. So let's go ahead and go beacon lights on. Now we can continue with the before start checklist below the line. So we're going to call below the line. Below the line.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
Okay, so now we are ready for pushback and startup. Let's just make sure there's nobody behind us. Let's just see where this aircraft is going. We'll wait for him to go past and then we'll start the pushback. And then you'll see, once we've done the engine pushback, you will see you have these triggers. So example over here, it says trigger, engine mode select back to normal after engine starts.
Are we cleared to close?
Yes.
Thanks. Let me know if you need anything.
So what would happen is, once we put the engine mode selector back to normal after we started both engines, then she's going to do her after engine start flows, which will be arm the ground spoilers, rudder trim, takeoff flaps, and pitch trim, etc. So let's go ahead and push back now. So we can release the parking brake. And we'll announce starting engine 2.
Check.
Okay, now engine 2 is starting. You'll see I skipped the pushback and start clearance, which is something you can do with HC as well. And I skipped cabin crew, arm slides, and cross check. That I just forgot about that one. I actually did that in the wrong order. I should have gone pushback and engine start, beacon on, and then done the checklist below the line. Okay, engine 2 is available, so I'm now starting engine 1. Starting engine 1. Okay, so we have a good engine start. Number 2 is still starting up. Excuse me, number 1 is still starting up, so we'll say we have a good engine start. Below the line. 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 Okay, it looks like engine 1 is starting up nicely as well. So once we have disconnected here, okay, the engine 1 is available. So now we're going to put the engine mode selector back to normal, and there you'll see she's going to start her flow. So she's going to arm the speed brake, she's going to set the flaps to 2.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
She's going to set the trim.
Right is clear.
And now we can call for the after start checklist. After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
E-cam status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
0% set. 0% set. Set and checked.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Sometimes when she doesn't understand what you're saying, you can just say set and checked, and it'll move to the next checklist item. Request taxi clearance.
Ground. Good afternoon. Speedbird ready to taxi. Clear to taxi. Speedbird.
Flight controls check.
Ready.
Just grab my yoke.
Full down. Full up. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Rudder.
Full right. Full left. Neutral.
Okay, now she's going to do her flight control check. It would be cool if her hand could actually grab the joystick and move it left and right. Maybe that's something the guys at FS2CREW can look into. Okay, we look like we're good for taxi. Let's go ahead and say clear left side.
Clear right side.
And we can begin taxiing. Let me just make a call quickly. Heathrow traffic Speedbird 394 taxiing from stand 511 to 27 right. Let's release the parking brake. I have no idea what he just said. Brake check.
Pressure 0.
Right, let's taxi to the runway and get out of here. We're going to be climbing up to flight level 230 because it's going to be a very short flight, so no point climbing any higher than that. So once we get into the air, I'll demonstrate how the first officer can control the FCU and the autopilot. Now while we're busy taxiing, we could actually do the before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Check. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Check. Briefing.
Confirmed.
Flap setting.
Config 2.
Config 2. V1, VR, V2, flex temp.
Set and checked.
V1, 1, 2, 6, VR. 1, 2, 7, V2. 1, 3, 1. ATC.
Set.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff no blue. Takeoff no blue.
Down to the line.
Okay, once we get to the runway, we'll call below the line, and we'll continue with the B4 takeoff checklist. Okay, so here we are. We're approaching the runway. We can assume we have been given takeoff clearance, so let's call below the line. Below the line. And there we go, she's turning on the landing light, setting the transponder to TARA, turning the packs off to CAS above. And when I call...
Path clear of traffic. Take off runway.
27 right confirmed.
Cabin crew.
Advised.
TCAS.
TARA.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Packs.
Off.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Ready.
Ready.
Heathrow traffic speedbird 3904 lining up 27 right. So I'm going to announce takeoff and she can turn the landing lights on. Takeoff.
Check.
Okay, we're ready to take off. So let's try and line up with the center line if we can. Let's go throttles 50%. And toga. Mantoga SRS runway. Now I'm going to command it to raise the gear, raise the flaps, etc. as we climb out of here.
V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up. Autopilot 1 on. And there she's put the autopilot on for us already. Flaps 1. Flaps 1.
Packs are on.
No.
Speed check. Flaps 1. Speed check. Flaps 1.
Flaps 0.
Speed check. Flaps 0.
Now she's performing her climb flows. So she put the ground spoilers disarmed, runway turn off lights off, nose wheel light off. And now we can do the after takeoff climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Packs.
On.
1,000 to go. Down to the line.
Now she's called 1,000 to go because we set the altitude restriction of 6,000 feet according to the standard instrument departure. Now ATC aren't online, so we don't really need to stick to this altitude restriction. But I want us to level off first, and then I'll demonstrate how we can voice command her to control the autopilot or the FCU.
Gatwick traffic, DC49 Romeo pushing back, gate, FS2.
Okay, so let's set standard here on the barrow, now that we're at 6,000 feet. Set standard.
Standard cross check. Passing flight level 0, 5, 8, now.
Below the line.
Barrow ref.
Standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff, climb checklist complete.
Right, so let's imagine we've been cleared to continue the climb now to flight level 230. So let's instruct her to do that for us. Set altitude 23,000 feet. Pull. Okay, she had 23,800. So set flight level 230. There we go, she got that one right. Now, as you can see here, the passing 10,000 feet, you can turn the landing lights off. She'll do the EFIS, ND range will set to 80, and the terrain ND will be off. That'll be her 10,000 feet flows. We can also instruct her to turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. You can do it either now, or she'll turn them off after 10,000 feet. If we go down here, we can see the autopilot calls that we can use for the autopilot. So autopilot 1 on, you saw I demonstrated that as we took off. Disengage autopilot we'll do on short final. Pull heading, set heading, pull track, set track, manage nav, altitude pull, flight level pull, set altitude. These are all instructions that we can give her to control the autopilot. So let's try one. Let's go. Oh, let's wait for her to finish her flows. Seatbelts off. Why is the APU bleed still on? I was supposed to turn that off. That was supposed to be my after start flows, which I didn't do. Clear rad nav. So let's try a autopilot.
Okay.
Let's go set heading. So we're going to go set heading 100. There, she's going to pull it and she's going to turn it to set the heading of 100. Now, I don't like using this on VATSIM because sometimes she doesn't get it right and then you fall behind the aircraft waiting for her to try and control it, but 9 times out of 10 it actually does work. So let's go back again. So we're going to go manage nav. Manage nav. I thought that would put it back into manage mode, but I guess not. Oh, well, there we go. Just a little bit slow. And that puts us back to nav mode. So you can do the same thing with that speed, headings, altitudes, etc. Altitude I find it a little bit difficult because to say the flight level or the altitude 11,000 or 230, sometimes she doesn't hear it. As you heard earlier, we said 230 or 23,000 and she heard 23,800. But whatever, it is pretty fun having a co-pilot to help you fly the plane. I think she likes me. She keeps looking at me. Anyway, let's climb to cruise and then we will set up the arrival. Actually, let's do that now. So
Gatwick traffic, speedbird 1.
While we are setting up the MCDU, we can give her control of the aircraft, so we can say, you have control.
I have control.
Just want to check the weather, so let's go ahead and just hide this for now, and we go back to our 180 at 2 knots, so that's pretty much no wind at all. 1021. Let's check the charts. Brussels. 180, so we could land on 19, or we could just land on 25 left, 25 right. I don't know what the preferential runway is for this airport. Let's have a look here. Preferential runway system. Determined by the surface, wind, speed and direction. Normally aircraft will land, take off into the wind, we know this. Accepting runway is pilot's discretion. Runway 25 right only via Kilo Oscar Kilo is where we're going. So we're going to say 25 right. So we're going to change this to 25 right. It's telling me that's a tailwind, but I don't believe that. Tailwind, 25 right. Oh no, it's not. So let's go set runway 25 right.
1,000 to go.
Kilo Oscar Kilo 7 Alpha. That looks like our arrival. So we're from Kilo Oscar Kilo to Kirky and around 25 right by one of these. So probably Bruno. So Kirky, Bruno, 25 right. So let's stick that in there, check if it's correct. Too far right, Zulu, via Kilo Oscar Kilo 7 Alpha, and it's Kirky. So we're going to insert that. Let's see if that looks correct. Looks about right. Just want to double check that on Navigraph quickly. So we got set approach ILS 25 right. So we're going to go ILS Zulu 25 right. There should have been another one. Looks like a bit of a sharp turn there, but I'm sure that is correct. Finished putting in the data into the MCDU. Okay, QNH is 1021, 180 at 2 and 21 degrees. 1021, 180 at 01. 21 degrees. Did I say 21 degrees? 21 degrees. And our minimums, back to the charts. Pretty sure we should have gone from Bruno. That's not serious. Let's go to our minimums. 302. 302. Stick that in there and that's all done. I think maybe I should put that Bruno in there. I don't like that sharp turn over there. Let's just see what it looks like. Oh, it's taking me to Bruno anyway. Yeah, that's good. That is correct. So it just looks a little bit wonky on Navigraph. Okay, we're done. So now we can control the aircraft back, so we can say, I have control.
You have control.
Are you ready for the approach briefing?
Ready.
So we'll do an approach briefing, blah, 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 blah. Any questions? Any questions?
No questions.
Cool. Now we'll just wait for the top of descent, which is coming up over there after Kilo, Oscar, Kilo. We also have Purser commands, which we can play with when we are in the air. So if we click on here, you can see to call Purser, press the aft call button on the overhead panel, and then you can ask for something like this, or you can give them an instruction or something, so on and so forth. So let's give that a go. So
Hi, it's Andy at L1. How can I help you?
one coffee, please.
Okay, I'll bring the drinks up in a minute.
And then she will bring us some coffee.
Hi guys, here are the drinks.
Thank you. Thanks. Doesn't look like you can respond to that one. Alright, so here we are, almost at our top of descent. We've got about 20 nautical miles to go. And our first altitude restriction is going to be at Kirky, which is flight level 70. So that is the instruction we're going to give our first officer to set in the autopilot, in the FCU. So let's do that now. Set altitude 7,000 feet. And there we go, open descent. So this is an altitude restriction that we need to be above when we get to Kirky. We're going to be way above that. Probably at about flight level 150 still. And then our next altitude restriction is 3,000.
Hi, Andy at L1. How can I help you?
Inform the passengers we are arriving a bit early.
Thanks for letting me know.
Okay, so as we are approaching Kirky, we are about to pass the altitude restriction of above 7,000 feet. So let's instruct her to adjust the MCDU again. Set altitude 3,000 feet. And there we go, we have 3,000 feet set, and we can continue the descent. Alright, as we approach 10,000 feet, she's going to do her passing 10,000 feet flow. So she's going to put the landing lights on, seatbelt signs, etc. So there goes the landing lights, seatbelt signs go on. She's going to put the terrain on ND on. Landing system I'm going to put on. Should be able to see the airport somewhere in the distance there. Maybe not. Alright, so let's prepare for the landing. Now you can see, just like the takeoff, we can command her to set the flaps for us, put the landing gear down, etc. She can also arm the approach on final. So we're going to demonstrate all of that right now. Passing the transition level of 5,500, let's set the QNH. 1021. Let's do the approach checklist. Approach checklist.
Briefing.
Confirmed.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Seatbelts.
On.
Barrel rack.
1021 set.
1021 set. Minimum.
302 feet set.
302 02. Set. Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Approach checklist complete.
Let's go ahead and activate the approach phase. Start slowing down a little bit. Flaps 1.
Speed check. Flaps 1.
Probably set that a little bit early, but no problem. We'll just do a nice slow approach. Arm approach.
$2,500.
Radar altimeter alive.
Thought it might struggle with that turn a little bit. Not a problem. I think I slowed down a little bit too early. We're still 17 nautical miles out from the ILS. Alright, so here we are approaching 2,000 feet, or just leveled off at 2,000 feet. We're about to intercept the localizer. We've already set flaps 1. We are at 190 knots. We have slowed down a little bit early, but not a problem. We'll configure nice and early. It'll give us time to do the landing checklist and land. There we go, localizer captured. Still 11 nautical miles out, so pretty far final. Let's just make a traffic announcement to Brussels. Brussels traffic, Speedbird 394, final approach, runway 25 right, 10 miles out. Right, lined up nicely on the localizer. Now we'll wait for the glide slope and then we will start descending into 25 right.
Hotel traffic, Beeline 7 Sierra Delta over Bruno, 6,000 feet, inbound for ELS 25 left, hotel traffic.
It's a late capture of this glide slope, not a problem. Let's set flaps 2 and start slowing down. Flaps 2.
Speed check. Flaps 2.
Alright, so here the glide slope is coming in. There we go, glide slope star. Let's start the descent down. As we slow down, let's configure early. So gear down. Gear down.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Down.
Flaps 3.
Speed check. Flaps 3.
Flaps full.
Speed check. Flaps full.
1,000.
Landing checklist.
Cabin crew.
Advised.
Auto thrust.
Speed.
Auto brake.
Low.
ECAM memo.
Landing no blue.
Landing checklist complete.
Almost forgot the auto brake there. That's why we run checklists.
$500.
Brussels traffic speedbird 3904 short final 25 right.
$400.
Autopilot 1 off.
$300. 100 above. 200. Minimum.
Delta traffic, beeline 7 Sierra Delta, fully established 10
50,
miles, final
40,
5 left.
30. 20. Retard. Retard.
Spoilers, reverse green. Decel. $70 knots.
Manual braking. And I suppose we will make this exit, yeah? Brussels traffic, speedbird 3904, clear of runway 25 right. Okay, let's stop here and find a parking. Stop here and let's check our after landing flow. So as you can see, the trigger here is to disarm the ground spoilers. So let's put ground spoilers in and she's going to do her after landing flow. Radar off, predictive windshield off, retract the flaps, TCAS standby, etc, etc. And I'm going to find us a place to park. Maybe stand 144. I don't know where we are. Stand 144.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion of our flight. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the captain has...
Alright, let's go there. Stand 144. Request to follow me, yes. Right, we'll wait for the following. Let's do the after landing checklist. After landing checklist. After landing checklist.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Spoilers.
Disarmed.
APU.
Start.
Radar.
Off.
Predictive wind shear system.
Off.
After landing checklist complete.
Okay, so follow me, estimated time of arrival is in like another minute. So let's just start moving so long. I'm sure once we are, I'm sure we don't need it. We'll just find stand 144. I think it's somewhere in front of us. Actually, I think it's to the left. Let's check my charts. I think it's to the left. So I'm just going to go left. And now we got HC online. 118050. Brussels ground, hello, speedbird 3904. Just landed, vacated 25 right. We are taxiing to stand 144.
Speedbird 3904, welcome to Brussels, taxi to stand 208 via Ines, Mike and Sierra.
Stand 208 by Inner, Mike and Sierra. Speedbird 3904. It's giving us a different stand now. 204. What did he say? 204. 208. Inner Mark and Sierra. Okay, so we're going to change stands. We're going to go stand 208 because that's what he requested. Right, as we approach our parking, we can say taxi light off. So let's go taxi light off. And here is our parking here, 210 208. Can't see the gardens. Oh, there's a marshal there. I didn't even see him standing behind the... we'll just stop here. Okay, parking brake. Set the parking brake. Engine masters can go off.
The boarding requested.
Seat belts can go off. Beacon lights can go off. She's going to do her parking flow. Parking checklist.
APU bleed.
Off.
Engines.
Off.
Seatbelts.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Nav logo on.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Are you sure about that? Parking brake
Passengers deboarding starting.
On.
Parking checklist complete.
And there you have it, folks. A flight from Heathrow to Brussels using the virtual AI Copilot by FS2CREW. Lovely female first officer using voice control. I hope this little tutorial helps you on your way to using it and having fun with a first officer. As always, if this video has helped you out, subscribe, smash that like button. Join us for the next one. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.